The one of the fine point tip that I use. These are the ones that I also saw on my online store. You can buy them as a set of 22, or you can buy them individually, the one that you need specifically. They're really good. They hold heat very well, and they're strong. They don't give in under high heat. So I like that, and I will show you different ones what they're used for. I have a few that I use all the time. I don't use all of them necessarily, but sometime when I need to do something different or special that I need the tip for, then I would resort to these ones and start using these ones. As you can see, this is flat on the tip, and it's a little, pokey right here, kind of look. So it can be used for that. The little gaps that you want to fill in and still want to have a, as you can see that. So it's good for that. It's also good for like the tip of it is really good for like making, if you want to achieve like dotted surface, maybe like a sand beach, or you want to do sand looking area. So this is good for that. Or if you're into wood burning but you like to do dot art with it, and believe it or not, this would be one of the tips you would want to use, because it can make you all the dots you need. I tried to use this for a shader, and honestly I would not recommend it for shading, because as you can see, I have to hold it very awkwardly. One, and second, it's just it does the work, but it's not as clean as you can see, because it's so straight, and the tip is making those little darker line in the ends, and the middle is more lighter. So if you want to achieve some kind of like that kind of look, then it's ideal. As you can see, that it's very consistent with that. But if you want to, if you don't want that, then see, as you can go, or you can like do this, make these little like a grainy, if you want to achieve showing like a seeds or grains or something like that, then it can totally be used for that. As you can see, it's very consistent, and it comes out very nicely, and it's uniform, as you can see also. So I like this one for this reason. And let me show you what it looks like under the high heat. So this is now a max heat of 124. Just wanted to show you how hot it gets, and how well it works, so you can see that. And if you want to still draw a line more darker, and so it's more consistent for that, and it holds very well under heat, so I like that. It does a really good job. It doesn't bend, it doesn't break easily. One other thing I would always recommend, a lot of people don't understand that, and they make that mistake, is when you're trying to cool this down, when you're done with it, always try to lower the heat. So I'm lowering my heat now to like 71, 65. So there you go. Okay, there you go. 66, 65. Let it cool down, and then lower it more and let it cool down more. What that does is eventually, if you have it always on a high heat, then the metal get used to only high heat, and you cannot use it for a low heat. It always requires high heat. So I like to bring it down slowly, and not just force it to just be done, because that could so right now I'm on 37, which is pretty much there's no heat left in there, so it's very low. But if I go up to, like, let's say about 50, so I'm now on 50, and then you can do a little bit of light lines if you want something to accomplish like that, and you can do lighter lines. But you can see it's very light. So it depends on what you need it for, but this is that one right there. All right, so this is my another fine point tip, and you can see this one is more longer with a little bit of open uh, mouth in there, and it has a little curve right here, but it's still pokey at the end, so you can still get pretty much all of this from what you got from the first one. So but it can also be used for um, shading as well. So I'm again on 60. I'm using back on 60. So as I was telling you, you can use it for lines still. As you can see, it does similar thing. It's because it's more longer tip. As you can see, it's longer. It's kind of hard sometimes to uh, control, so you will need some practice with that. I wouldn't recommend you starting any of these tips right on your first project directly. First, just get a board and get the feel of each tip, how it feels and how it handles, and then based on that you can use it for what do you need to accomplish. Right here you can do the same thing again. If you want to make like a sandy beach, or do a dot art or something with it, then you can do your dotting with that. Shading, I feel like it's the same thing as the other one, unless you do really flat, but it's kind of like you can accomplish something like this, I would say, as you can see what's happening. But I wouldn't recommend this for shading at all, because it's more like if you want to doing mountains, that would be good for that. Doing anything that is like walls, or sometime when you have like rough areas you want to make, and it has different shades of that you need to accomplish, then you can totally do that with that. Other than that, it's just like I said, just lines and stuff you can make. So this is my another fine point. This one is similar to this one right here, but you can see the mouth is more open, and that one had a little curve in it. This is completely straight, so this will be again just mostly better for you to just do your lines. It will be better for that. Even this kind of line, as you can see, it's not ideal for that. It's mostly just straight down lines if you want to draw these, or if you want to do something like this, you can do it. But mostly I use it for like this kind of work right here. And again, if you need to do the dot art or do this sandy beach look, then it can do that. Depends on the wood. Like this one, I don't have to push too hard, because if I go too deep, as you can see, it creates the little dent in the wood, and you don't necessarily want the dent, you want the burn. So just light taps like this makes it do the job for you. You can like make a stony looking pathway or something that you're doing, outdoor kind of work. That's ideal for that kind of stuff. Any outdoor projects that you have that you're doing, art project that you're doing. So it's good for that. So that's this one right here. So this is another fine point tip. I don't use it as much unless I'm doing some kind of a special project that I need to accomplish something. Like for example, this one, as you can see, it can be used for. I need to get my heat going still. I'm still waiting for the heat. But the bigger the tip is, the higher the heat is required because it takes a minute to uh, heat up. But this one can also be used for like shading if you want, like this kind of shading. It will, or like this, as you can see, like a water effect, ripple effect. If you want to give it that kind of look, then this will be an ideal tip for that. As you can see, that it's very consistent. So this accomplishes that. Also, you can use it for like thin lines like this, but there's other tips that you can use that accomplishes uh, same thing but in a different way. This is more like if you're creating like a tall dry grass, for example, then this will be an ideal one for that. To give it a, if you're having a area where you want to show grass and weeds and stuff like that, so then this will be the one of the tips I would say you would use. As you can see, you can give it the look that you desire, and then you can also do this kind of stuff with it. Like for example, if you want to make something designed like that, then it would accomplish. It's good for this kind of stuff right here. So this is the another fine point tip. It has it looks like a little blade, but it can be used for a lot of different things. For example, like if you are making like something like this, as you can see, it's used for more of a delicate work, I would say. But it can also be used for lines. If you need to make lines, then it's gives you a nice crisp sharp lines, and you can accomplish that with that, as you can see both sides. So it depends on what you want to do with it. So yeah, as you can see, it's good for that. I can even like see it, like if you're making for example an eye, and you wanna do the little shading around it, and then you can totally do that. As you can see, that it's good for a nice delicate work that you want to accomplish with that. So that's for that. There you go. Shading wise, I would say no, it's not really recommended for that. I mean, you can use it if you need to do something like this, but if you want a nice smooth shading job, then this might not be an ideal. But as you can see, you can do like a fading type of shading, then this would be a useful tool to have. It's not as smooth as you want it, you would want it, but if you are not going after smooth and this is what you want to accomplish, then this would be an idea. You can also like stop, and you can see you can do that. So it's good for that kind of stuff. So I have this one right here, it's more sharper right here and more pointier on the tip. It's another fine point. I'm gonna skip it because it pretty much does what this one gives you, but it also has the very sharp tip. So if you wanna like do the sand look and stuff, and you wanna use it for that, then that would be used for that. Then the final one I have is this one right here. It looks like an R, and it has a very sharp fine edges, and I don't really use this one for anything, but I have tried to use it, and it's more like for this kind of work. As you can see, uh, it's a different kind of shading, can be used for that. You can see, so it can be used for that, but I feel like it's more again for the fine lines. If you want to do the lines, you can do it that way, or if you want to do this, it's also just good for like doing small areas where you want to accomplish something of this kind. Then it's ideal for that, as you can see. Yeah, so all the fine point tips is, I feel like it's mostly good for doing anything. If you're doing a art piece that is more of like an outdoor scenery, or beaches, or walls and mountains, then it's good for those kind of projects, because they will accomplish exactly what you're looking for. Or any delicate kind of work you're doing where you don't have too much space, and you want to use a tip that will stay within the boundaries of your of your project, of what you're doing, then this is something you would use. Alright, so our next category is the shaders, and we're gonna do that. And as you can see, I have this one, and this one has this type of look. It can be used for shading, and it can be used for other functions. It can have other functions. So let's see what we can do with this one. I'm on 60 heat. I keep it about 55 to 70 is where I usually use, unless I need something that needs to be really hot, then I put it on a higher heat. But if you don't need a higher heat, why use it, right? So this can be very easily used, like for shading, like this, as you can see. Light shading, if you want done, you don't want to hurry up and just have a burn look. You want that to be lighter. So I just increase the heat a little bit, just to show you. You see how. So this is all for works really great, like if you're making clouds or you're making bushes. So it works for that. But also, if you want to like make a little dots, then it also works really good for making dots. As you can see how consistent they are, and that I like a lot, to make the dots with it. So yeah, it can be used for that, and it's also used for, I use it for lines, but as you can see, it's not ideal unless it's on higher heat. Maybe it will work for you, but I'm going to 75 heat right now, but even then, look at that, it's digging into the wood, but it's not making the line, so I would not recommend that for that. But you can still use it for shading, and it's good for shading. As you can see, shading does very nicely, does good job with shading. So I would just say use it for shading, use it for dot work, but that's about it. Anything else is not really ideal for. Right, so this is another shading. It's more straight, it's flat, as you can see, uh, and this one can be used for many different things. You can make lines with it. As you can see, it makes really nice lines. So you can use it for that. You can use it for like anything you want to do like that. One side to be more darker and ends with a lighter note. You can also use it for like that. I would say personally, I like it when it has a little curve in it, because then if you want to do something more flat shading, you want to give it like a that kind of look, then it's nice when it sits well. So some of my tips, I modify them according to what I need it for, and it's okay to do that, because you want your tips to to do what you want to accomplish. And usually when they're made just normal, uh, so it's just anyone can use it any way they want, and then you can adjust them according to your preferences. So as you can see, different things I can do with it. But if I want more of a flatter look to the shading of it, then it's not as ideal with the way it is. But it can do other kind of lines and shadings for you. That is ideal for that. So that's that. I have this one right here. That's my another flat tip shader. As you can see, it's almost similar to this one, just more narrower, so it's not as wide as you can see, and it's not as wide as this one. It's more narrower, so it will do more of lines for you, and it'll be good for that. So I'm not gonna use this one. You can pretty much see what these do, so I would use it for just that kind of stuff. So yeah. So this is my another shader. It's more close together, if you can see that, and it's also flat, a little shorter, and it has the same. It can be used for multiple use. It can do your lines for you. I feel like almost every tip can do the line work for you. That's easy to accomplish. It depends on then what kind of line you want also, but still you can go as deep as you want, as light as you want. As you can see that depends on what you're accomplishing. Then for shading, you can see you can totally use it for shading. It does a really good job. It's more consistent with that, and yeah, so as you can see, it's very, very consistent. It holds the heat very well. As you notice probably, as I use it, by the time I go to the next line to use use it on the next line, the heat is already consistent and it's there. It's not losing heat, and I don't have to sit there and wait for it. That's what I like about these tips. That's why I decided to sell these tips, because they're way more good with when it comes to holding heat, and I can accomplish what I want to accomplish without any struggle. Some of the other tips that I use, as I was using them, I had to like sometimes wait or increase the heat too much just to accomplish what I wanted, because I was keep losing heat, and then I was not able to make my work to be more consistent. And I like consistency as much as I can, depending on what I'm doing. But yes, you can see how this nicely works. That's why I like this tip right here. It's very, very consistent, and it does a really good clean, give you a very clean job. And you can even see, if you want to do this to kind of like finish up your area where you're doing, and you can give it a nice border, thin border, as you can see, and it's very precise. I like that. Look at that. So it gives it a very nice look and very clean look, and I like that a lot. So yeah, so you can, yep. It's very accurate. It stays in place, and it goes where you want it to go. It doesn't run away from you. It's easy to use tip. You see that? Yeah, it's very easy to use. So definitely good for a beginner if you are just learning and you want to kind of like get into it. I mean, just like anything, first time you want to use it, I would recommend using it on a scrap board, and not just start directly with your project. I have done that before, and it doesn't work, trust me. um, but yeah, this is that. So we're gonna move on to the writing tips. Writing tips are pretty much what it says. It's good for writing. If you're doing like a letter shading and stuff, and you're doing that kind of stuff. Let's say if we are doing like letter, uh, you know, B, then you can literally just write it, and it does a really good job, as you can see. And you can write that. If you write other languages, like I write other languages as well. So like this is Arabic I'm writing, alphabets, and as you can see, it does a really good job on that. um, like I said, all the tips can be used for doing lines. If you want to do lines, if you have, like, let's say a letter T, like, you want to accomplish like something like this, and now you want to do this, and it gives it that look. You can fill it like that, or like that. So it's good for that kind of stuff. It gives it a very smooth look and very nice for writing. um, these ones right here just do the same thing. It's just different way. I don't use this much. I don't use this one much, but it does a really good job in writing. I have used it a couple of times, but it's not my favorite. I would say this one is very useful. So the one I have right here and this one right here, I would say, are very useful, and it does a really good job in writing. Um, but you know, you can almost do calligraphy with it, and it will do the job for you. So as you can see, does a really good job. So I like these tips. The writing tips are my favorite. I can do a lot with the writing tips. um, uh, it's just, yes, nice and smooth. It's not getting stuck on the wood. I'm using the heat 63. It's on 63 right now, and as you can see, it does a very good job. Like I said, it holds. These tips are really awesome for holding heat, and they, get hot very fast. And even if you have them on a high heat, so right now I'm going to put them on a highest heat, and this is 124 heat. As you can see how fast it got hot, and you can literally use it for just lines, or you can use it for fast writing. If you want to do something more deeper and more nicer than you would do high heat, it will do just fine. Same thing with if you're like I said, I do other languages, so if I want to do a letter in a high heat, I can do that. You can also do like a, see how it gives it a nice deep burn, and I like to do that sometime to where I want my burn to be nice and deep. So as you can see, this T is very nice, and there you go. So these are all the writing tips. This is really good for that. I'm gonna cut the heat down to about 80-70, let it cool down slowly, and then continue. So next we're gonna move on. To the ballpoint tips. So it comes in three different sizes. This is the large one, this is the medium one, and the middle one right here, as you can see, is the small one. Uh, they can be used for anything. It can be used for writing. It can be used for doing dot work. It can be used for sand look, if you want to do that kind of look. It can be used for a lot of different things. So we can try to use the medium one right here. So we will try to use the medium one, and let's see what it does. All right, so the ballpoint tips, it takes a little bit more heat, because the the end part needs to be properly heated in order to function properly. So it's recommended to have a more better heat. But if you don't want too deep and too strong of a dots, then you can always use less heat and go from really dark and looking dots to lighter dots, as you can see. So it can be used for that. but I want to put it on here. I'm gonna put it on 70 and let it heat up and see what it does and what we can do with it. So definitely good for dot work. As you can see, it's very consistent. It's better to hold it straight down if you want your dots to be more rounder and not have the little loopy look. So as you can see, straight down is better, because I will show you what happens when you have it sideways and you're trying to do it. I feel like it doesn't come out as nice and clean. So if you look at it, if I do that, you see that it's kind of like the dot is not round, it's more one side is more higher than the other. It's not consistent. I don't see consistency. But when you do it straight like that, then you're doing, you see that how consistent that comes out. And I like that. I like to have that. So if you're accomplishing something that needs consistency, then it's better to do it straight and then do it that way. But if you're not caring and you just want to do dots, random dots, any kind, then you can literally just do it any direction you want to do it. It wouldn't matter. Other thing it can be used for is writing, but it can totally be used for writing. I feel like it does a good job. It just needs a lot of patience and some practice. And as you can see, the tip is very long, so it's more harder to control. So it needs it needs more practice. But once you get your practice done, it's very good to use and it's not bad. Also, it can be used for is like shading work. So let's say if I'm doing this area right here and I want to do my shading, as you can see, it does a really good job for shading. Keeps it consistent, so it can be used for shading as well. I mostly use it for dot work. If I need to do little dots and stuff, but like I said, it can be used for anything. So you see, you can see that. But mostly, yeah, if your project has a lot of dot work in it and you need to do that, I would highly recommend you having the ballpoint tips, because they're just you can beat that. It's the best stuff you can have. So I would say use for that purpose mostly. Finally, I have these three specialty tips. I never use them. Honestly, I don't even know what they're used for. So far, I can do random stuff with it. Again, I can make my little circles if I want to do a half circle, or if you know. I feel like it can be used for. I don't know what can it be used for, to be honest with you. But I have these three. I'm not gonna try to use them because I'll be just shooting in the dark. But and then this will be this is also really good for writing. It can be used for writing, but it also does your lines for you if you need to do that. And if you need to do this kind of work, then it's good for that. It's almost similar to those the fine point ones, but different, still different. So these three, like I said, I don't use. I have used them once or twice just to see how they feel. I personally don't care to use them. I have about 4 or 5 different ones that I use all the time, and it does all the work for me. And I notice, I'll show you the 5 that I sell the most, and I show you the ones that people buy the most. That is used a lot, and one are the combination of the ballpoint tips, and then all of these ones right here, the writing ones. I sell a lot of these for right here. This one right here, not so much. If you buy them in a set, you can always have it. You can, if you know how to modify it, you can turn it into something else. You can do that if you're not very rough with it. It's a strong metal, so it won't easily break unless you are rough with it. But people mostly prefer buying these ones right here because they are more smoother and it does a really good job for writing and stuff. This one, like I said, not so much. So that's for that. And then so the set of these I always sell. Shaders, the one that I sell the most is this one, believe it or not, because it has the more of a flatter surface right here, so it's easier to shade with this one. But other ones that I would say that people buy the most is this one right here. As you can see, it's more. As you can see, it's more flatter. You see that, and so people like to buy this one a lot. That's, I would say, this one, and then this tall one right here. I saw a lot of these right here, the tall ones. So this one, not so much. I mean, people buy them, but I would say not a lot. In the fine point, very interestingly, people don't really care for any of these much except for this one. This one right here I saw a lot, and people prefer to buy this one a lot. The other second best one that people like is this one, which is similar to this one right here. Let me move this out of the way. So these two are, it's like similar to this one, but it's more pointier, more sharper on the edge right here. This is more rounder, but not as sharp as this right here. So these two, I would say, definitely people buy a lot. And then the rest of these, individually, I don't sell much. But if you buy them in a package, then as I said, again, set is better because you get a better price. And then you never know, you might like something that that you have in the set that you originally probably thought no, I don't need it, but then you end up liking it. So I always recommend you buy a set because it's cheaper and you save more money that way, and you have a lot more options to play with and use. But if you need just specific one, then I would say what I sell the most is anything that is right here. So these are always I sell all of them. These ones right here I sell the most. These one the least. These three right here I sell the most, and then these two are always selling. And these ones, once in a while somebody will get them, but usually if you buy a set you get everything, so then you have the option to do other things with it. As far as these specialty one, these ones I don't sell them individually much. I have them if you want them, but again, they come in a set, so you can modify them and do other things with it maybe. But I really personally don't use these as much. What I love about these tips is the most important thing is it holds the heat very well. You can have it on high heat and work for honestly like half an hour, and it doesn't break, it doesn't bend, unless you are rough with it, of course, then anything can break and bend. But if you just use it in a more careful manner, then you will have no issues with it whatsoever. And they're just all around the best tips. That's why I have decided to sell them in my store. So hopefully this video helped to kind of give you an idea. Please comment, let me know if there's something else you wish to know, or you think that I should explain better, and maybe I can make another video over time. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you have fun creating your own project, and please, if you buy these tips from me, share your projects with me. I would love to see your work and how it comes out. And we're all artists, so we're all learning. No, there's always something new to learn every day as an artist. So good luck to all of you guys. Thank you. Have a good day.